Good afternoon, everybody in the Nacho Verse. Well, it might be morning in some parts of the Nacho Verse because I know we've got many time zones represented. But welcome to the 2022 Super Dentist Business Boost Hype-a-Thon. We're really excited about our second installment of our Super Dentist Boost event that we're having at Dental Nachos in Philadelphia. Some of you are going to be actually here in Philadelphia attending this event, and many of you are actually going to be watching this virtual. If you don't know how to watch it virtual, please, you see on the screen, just text BOOST, BOOST, to 215-543-6454. That's BOOST to 215-543-6454 to get a free watching pass for Super Dentist Business Boost, which is our flagship awesome event of the spring that we're so excited about. I have several guests that are here that are going to talk about what they're going to be doing as participants and as speakers at Super Dentist Business Boost. So I'll be bringing them up one by one in a few minutes here. And they'll actually just kind of tell you who they are and what they do. And, you know, what makes this so awesome is that they're from all walks of life as dentisting human beings. Some of them are dentists. Some of them are people who assist dentists and make their lives better. But all of the speakers here are really passionate about helping improve the lives of dentists and helping improving dentistry. So without further ado, I'd like to invite the first person to the stage, which I think is Dr. Maggie Augustin. Maggie, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
We're always excited when we have you. You're such a great member of the Dental Nachos community. Like you really, I always, you know, and I don't just say this because you're in front of my face right now, but you really embody everything that Dental Nachos is about as far as kind of just improving the tone and tenor of dentistry, helping dentists collaborate, helping dentists interact with each other in a better way, and just really uplift the industry. So we really appreciate you for that in general. So Maggie, so let's talk a little bit about who you are, what you do in the dental world, and what you're planning on talking about at Super Dentist Business Boost.
I consider myself a nachophile, someone that loves dental nachos. And one of my favorite things about dental nachos is how safe the community is. And the fact that we don't put up with bullying and we don't put up with poor language and calling each other out. Paul really, with your help, has created a platform to invite all kinds of other nachophiles to really be able to open up and talk about some of the things that we're not alone in facing, but sometimes we feel alone in experiencing. I am a general dentist. I own a practice in the suburbs of Chicago. I graduated what seems like many years ago. I've been doing this for you kind of lose track of time a little bit. 2004, more than 15 years, and it seems to have gone by very fast. I talked to a young dentist yesterday, and she was asking me if it gets any easier. And I don't think it gets any easier. I think we just get better
Right.
at handling it, at understanding it, at supporting one another. Um, when in Philadelphia, coming up, I am very excited to speak with the campers. I am very excited to continue the relationship with Nachos and all the other speakers. It is really a true honor to be among those dentists and non-dentists, but dental professionals. Um, my talk is going to be about creating change mindfully in your life and making sure that that sticks around. And I think the crux of the subject is that very often, imagine you're driving, you want to go to one place that seems to take the same route and you end up in another, right? So, for example, I drive to my in-laws' house and it's kind of the same route as going to work, except every now and again, instead of going to my in-laws' house, I end up at my work because you're an autopilot and you tend to not pay attention to the moment. You're stuck. The difficulty with that is that your future tomorrow looks like yesterday. And it's very difficult to create change when every single day is the same, right? And so the difficulty sometimes in living life is that tomorrow ends up being just like the past. And so with my talk, I will attempt to leave you with tools that are very easily implemented into everyday life to break that pattern of having the past become your future, if that makes
That is
sense.
that is awesome, Meg. I'm really excited for that, creating change. Change is
Thank you.
something that some people, when change is kind of thrown at us, but that we're not prepared for,
Mhm.
that's something that people sometimes have a hard time adapting to. But I'd love to hear your talk about how to intentionally create change in your life. And you're one of the people I've had the pleasure of hearing speak multiple times. And I know you've been very transparent in your presentations talking about your own journey, which I won't get into now. I'll let the people see that during Super Dentist Business Boost. But I know you bring great value to everyone that's ever had the pleasure of meeting you or hearing you speak. And you said 15 years. So, people that know Dental Nacho's language, that means that you are technically a MAD, right? A medium age dentist, a MAD. But the irony is you're anything but MAD because you're one of the nicest people that I know. So I really
Thank you.
appreciate having you as always. And we are so looking forward to hearing Maggie speak at Super Dentist Business Boost. So text Boost 215-543-6454 to get your access pass. So we're ready for the next person to come up, and that will be the awesome Kara Kelly, who I'm excited to hear talk about her awesome expertise in her business, which I jokingly always say that she has the most fun business because she happens to work in a very fun field, right? Which is HR, but I'll let Kara talk about it. And she actually has a way of making it positive because often she has to deal with things that are not too positive. So, Kara, tell us about yourself. How do you plan on helping dentists survive, thrive, and not cry on the inside as much at Super Dentist Business Boost?
Thank you, Brandon. It's fun for me. I'm one of the few people who actually enjoy reading legal text. So it's
Awesome.
fun for me to deal with all of the compliance. And I realize that I'm one of the few people probably at Nachos that actually feels that way. But I do try to break it down and make it fun, or at the very least understandable or digestible for the people that I work with, which is 100% dentists at this point. Um, I I really have been working with startups and with newer dentists, and so I'm really excited about this specific event and who it's targeted to. Been doing this for about 10 years now, and I know this is not something you learn in dental school. You learn how to do the dentisting, but then you get out and you start working with a team, either as an associate or you start your own practice, and oh my goodness, there are people and they expect you to pay them and to have rules in place and policies and procedures, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Who are all of these people and where do I find them? And then what do I do when I get them? And so that's what I end up working with, is working with dentists to build compliant HR systems, strategic HR systems, and to deal with the people problems. I think that's probably the most fun part of my day, is putting out fires.
I've heard so many stories from you, and obviously we can't talk all day about HR stories specifically. But tell me, what is your presentation going to be like at Super Dentist Business Boost? What are you going to focus on? What are you hoping people get out of your presentation?
So I'm actually going to share the very first lesson that my first mentor for business ever taught me. And I'm calling this presentation HRETA. It's 3 steps to mitigating people problems and minimizing tears, because that's what I have felt that it has done over the past decade with every client that I've worked with. I like to share this particular process with them and these simple to remember 3 steps. So it's going to be your HRETA.
Nice, nice. I mean, the thing about this is valuable not just for owners, but also for people who are not owners, because you need to be on both sides of things. I used to joke, working in corporate America, I used to say human resources doesn't really care about humans; they just care about upper management. So I used to jokingly call our HR department upper management resources. But I
Oh.
know, speaking with you, that you really have a way of mitigating issues that go into office in a way that is not just legally right, but in a way that kind of helps the office and its employees and the owner interact in a better way moving forward. So excited to hear you speak, excited to always hear your knowledge and expertise. So what would you like to leave people with today in anticipation of Super Dentist Business Boost?
I think one of the things you need to remember, so that you don't have that negative thought about HR, is that when you hire people, you're hiring the whole human. You're not just hiring cogs in a machine or KPIs. You really need to focus your culture, need to focus your practice, your policies, everything that you're doing in the HR space around the fact that you are hiring humans.
Absolutely. And last but not least, how do people reach out to you? Reach out to you, reach out to your company.
Sure. My company is Clinical HR, and Kara, Kara, at clinicalhr.com is my email. And then I always share my cell. It's 512-876-4866. So people are welcome to call or text or email either way.
And the Nacho team will be putting that information in the comments for you, or those of you watching us on Facebook. Thank you so much, Kara. As always, looking forward to May 6th and 7th, and excited for everybody to hear your presentation. Awesome. So the next person I'm going to bring to the stage is somebody that I think is one of the coolest people in the dental world, because he's just a cool guy, provides a cool service that I think every dental office should utilize in some way, shape, or form. So let's bring up Tom Camarota. Awesome. How are you, Tom?
Good. How about yourself?
Excellent. I'm just living the dream, loving life, getting ready for Super Dentist Business Boost, getting ready to see you again. I always have a good time when you hang around. I always like to tell people that I got to play Wii last time I saw you, right? I was able to. We were playing Wii bowling, which is always fun. So it's always a good time.
Bowling. I think you got them all down too, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I am strategically bringing that up because I won the competition. So that is actually part of my reason for talking about that. But Tom, tell everybody, what do you do to help dentists survive, thrive, and not cry on the inside in the dental world?
So my company is Dental Stores, and what we do is we help dentists provide membership plans and patient store products to their patients. A lot of offices want to carry products. A lot of offices don't have the inventory space or the wherewithal to actually go out and buy all this inventory. So that is one thing that we help them do. We essentially provide all the inventory for them and just have a virtual storefront for them, just plugged right into their website. And beyond that, we help them offer their membership plans, which is another component that we have been very, very successful with. And those offices who choose to use that, compare that with the product side of things, and really kind of engage their patients at multiple levels. So really surround them with your brand and surround them with your dentistry. So that this way, whenever it comes time for them to get, dental care, they're going right to your office because they're able to get a membership plan and get discounts on those services. Or if they want to get products, they could go right to your website and get products and get exclusive access to deals and things like that.
Your service is so important and it's so popular, especially with so many people looking for alternatives to traditional PPO system and so many offices that have a fee for service or component. So you are already a fan of many people in the dental nachos world. What are you going to be talking about specifically at Super Dentist Business Boost this year?
Just basically telling them about how to modernize what their current flow is, and really how to kind of keep up to date with what patients want. I mean, what you have is kind of, and what you've seen throughout COVID and on the pandemic and all this thing is just kind of like a preview of what's going to be happening in the future. People are going to expect more digital services, expect to be able to do some teledentistry, expect to be able to order those services online, expect to be able to get those products shipped to their home, expect to be able to interface with you in different ways, not just via the phone or something like that. So basically just embracing that and really accepting that could be the future, as well as, obviously you're going to have in-person thing. They need to see your teeth, obviously. But, embracing that component of it, that side of the business, and really, and running with it, and knowing that will add a lot of value to your practice, I think, too. I think that, I think that a lot of the hesitation there is that they don't, some of the people look at it like, oh, I don't want to sell products, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to offer a membership plan because then it's giving someone a discount. Well, it's not. It's actually giving them access to your services. It's actually giving them access to products that you're at home. And so it's a really, really good thing for them to be involved in this and really to engage their patients, because if you don't do it, then other people are going to do it. So they're going to get sucked in by YouTube or some Instagram influencers. So why not be you? Why not make it you?
Why not be you? Such a good point. And I know Dr. Paul Goodman, Dr. Nacho, who actually utilizes your service and is not here today because believe it or not, Mr. Dr. Super Paul Nacho, for the first time since I've known him for several years, actually can't speak very well today. He actually kind of lost his voice. So he was going to actually join this as well and talk about some things. But I know he's a big fan of you. I know he uses you in his offices. Yes. If anybody wants to get in contact with Tom and Dental Stores, just text the word CLUB, CLUB, to 215-543-6454. That's CLUB, to 215-543-6454. And you'll be able to get connected to Dental Stores and kind of get the ball rolling with both not just a membership club, but also the dental store, which is such an underrated component of being able to kind of just gain some patient loyalty. They're going to buy these things somewhere. They might as well be able to conveniently do it at your site. So thank you so much, Tom. We appreciate you as always. And we're excited to see you in Philadelphia in a few weeks. So last but not least, I've got one of the coolest dentists that I know. Even though he is a big fan of all things New York sports, I don't hold that against him. I really don't have a problem with New Yorkers. And Mitch is actually one of the coolest ones. So I'd like to bring up Dr. Mitchell Rubenstein to the show as well. How you doing, Mitch?
Hello, Brandon. It's nice to see you.
It's good to
I'm
see you
doing
as
great.
always, and it's good to be seen.
Absolutely. You bring up a good point because we talk
Yes.
about, the Mets and the Phillies. This is what dentists do with whatever we're talking about that doesn't fly on nachos. Oh, I like the Mets. You like the Phillies. Oh, you're terrible. No, you're terrible. You're a bad person. Whatever. We can both like our teams and still get along, and that's kind of what dental nachos is all about. And I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And like I said, much like, Maggie, your fellow doctor on the show today, you also embody everything that Dental Nachos is about because you're such a cool and real person. You can have so many normal, just regular conversations with you. And you also provide great value because you're a very experienced dentist and you provide great value to our community. So let's talk a little bit about you, where you're from, where you practice, what you do.
Okay. I'm a general dentist. I've been in practice for, feels funny to say it, about almost 30 years now. I practice in New York City. I have what we like to call a fee-for-service practice, which is, sometimes seems to be a rarity, but maybe becoming more common now that insurance companies are putting so much more pressure on people.
Right.
I'm a solo practitioner. It's me, my hygienist, full-time, and I have an assistant and a front desk, office manager, and that's my team. And we do everything ourselves, mostly in-house. And I like being a dentist. I like doing this stuff. I like my patients most days. Most days. Actually, I don't have my nacho shirt on. I was planning on that. I'm actually wearing I actually had to go in and see an emergency today.
Gotcha.
And I just got back in time, which is one of the things you do when you need to take care of people. So,
and that's why I promised not to keep you too long. But you brought up a couple of things that's really cool. Number one, there's so many different types of ways to be a successful dentist in the world, right?
Yes.
And a lot of it is the model of grow, get the big practices, expand, get multiple practices. And you know a lot of awesome dentists who do that and they give great advice about that. But there's also a way to get great joy being a solo GP like yourself and just really just having a good, prosperous, and enjoyable career as a dentist. And I know you have great insight to talk about that. Tell me what, and one more thing too, just so, Dental Nachos lingo, we always got to teach people that don't know, 30 years in the business, that makes you by definition a senior age dentist. But there's nothing sad about Mitch except for when, the end of this baseball season when the Mets will fail. But what are you going to talk about at Super Dentist Boost this year about how to make dentists survive, thrive, and not cry on the inside?
I'm going to be talking about fee-for-service dentistry, which is a term that we throw about. There are a lot of misconceptions about it, and really to me, it's, about dentistry being so much different than all the other business. It's unique as a business. You go to a restaurant, you go shopping for groceries, you go in and you get what you need, you get what's valuable to you, and you pay for it. And what we've come to, many of us, and again, this is not about one way being better or worse, is that, we have this system where patients pay us with this little white card that's not actually money. Right. And then we have to go and get our money from an insurance company. Of course, we don't get that much of it. And if we're in network, we're sort of at their mercy, in my opinion. Now, there are obviously many great dentists. Many of them are going to be here at Boost Camp, people I've come to really appreciate and who practice, in that model. I'm presenting another model that people often say is impossible. They say things like, oh, my patients would never pay for that. Or my patients will only do what the insurance pays for. If I go out of network, I'm turning my back on people who might not be really rich. And actually, I'm going to go into it in some detail. None of those things are true. Right. It's all about value, which is a business word. Mostly, this about me. Mostly, I lecture on clinical topics. I talk about doing composites or being creative, with your treatment planning. But we're running businesses. If we can't bring home enough money to take care of our families, if we can't keep our businesses' doors open, there's no shame in getting paid. So I'm going to be talking about how to be valuable enough and present enough of what you do in a valuable way to your patients that they'll not only be willing but happy to pay you for it. And dealing with insurances becomes a secondary issue.
I'm excited about that. I love a happy customer. I love a happy customer. People are excited to pay you. That's such an awesome thing. So This is so cool, everybody. Once again, everybody, if you haven't already registered, you can register for free to watch in. I know everybody can't be there in person, but if you're going to watch in, you can register for free by texting BOOST to 215-543-6454. If there are any other special guests that want to show up and jump on camera, let us know now. I'd love to bring you guys on. I'd love to bring everybody back on, actually, to share a final word if you guys are available, or any surprise guests that might be popping up that want to share a word as well.
One more thing. I got one more thing, if it's okay, Brandon.
Sure, go ahead, Mitch.
What is that the things I'm going to be talking about are not useful only if you're going to go out of network and be totally fee for service. The things that I'm going to be talking about, which is about creating real value and presenting it so you're perceived as valuable, are really helpful to dentists practicing in any model. And I think it's really important. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to just get out of all your insurance plans, but it provides a path for it. And I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely. Listen, this is great advice all around. And I love when we talk to a diverse group of people, because you get to see kind of what the whole nacho plate, to steal a Paul phrase, looks like when we put it all together and create a beautiful, array of topics. So basically we have someone here who's talking about, how to enact change into your life, which is something that's smart to do to get ahead of change. You control the change that you want to do with Dr. Maggie Augustin. We have somebody also talking about how to actually get a profit and have a rewarding career and a profitable career, no matter what your business model is, no matter what your insurance statuses are as a dental office. We have somebody talking about the HR and team building issues that relate to dentistry. And we have somebody talking about how to get patients more engaged through not just your store, but also giving them an alternative as far as how they can pay for things with the membership club. So this is just a little tip of the iceberg on what you guys are going to see at Super Dentist Business Boost in May. And I really appreciate all of you guys being here. Any final words from the panel before we call it a day?
Looking forward to seeing everybody in person. I've met a lot of great people through Dental Nachos. I'm looking forward to meeting more people I haven't met in person. Kara, I feel like I know you, but we've never actually met in person. Tom, I'm looking forward to meeting you.
I feel like
Maggie,
I've been stalking you for like 2 years now.
I know. Maggie, I would never have met Maggie without Dental Nachos. She's one of the most awesome people I know. I feel like when I come to these things, I love teach. I feel like I learn at least as much, if not more stuff, than I teach people. And that's like just awesome.
I couldn't agree more. And the energy that is brought into the camp, the way that we all work together and get to know one another. I have made great friends. And like I said, like Mitch said, I learned so much. I actually can't wait to listen to all of these speakers myself. And Mitch, I will tell you, every time I prep a second molar, I put a groove in the occlusal since the time that I saw you speak. And Kara and I talk very frequently. She helped my office put together a manual. And anytime I have an HR question, she is my person to go to. So it's just incredible. Tom, I look forward to getting to know you as well. So we just get these incredible relationships that are created. And I think all of us are relationship focused, not just with our patients, but with each other within the dental professionals community.
Yeah,
awesome.
I agree with that.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so much, everybody. Can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to see everybody that's going to be there in person. Can't wait to hear feedback from people who are going to be watching live on the live stream. Once again, final time, text BOOST to 215-543-6454. Get your free watch and pass while we're giving them for free. Things don't say free forever, but they're free right now, which is my favorite price, and it's probably your favorite price too. So thank you again to all our guests, and we will see you again soon.